going to watch Ignoring All Lithium Battery Safety Warnings for Science. I actually use lithium batteries every single day of my life, and I just got a message on Amazon that they recalled the battery that I use for my immersion-breaking mocap suit, and they said that it exploded. So let's see how long I have left to live.
When it comes to lithium batteries, there are 4 things you should never do. 1. Never let them get wet. 2.
Oh, that's
never
real?
expose them to fire or any other open flame.
Damn! Don't do that to me either! Also, is it loud enough?
3. Never short circuit them. And 4. Definitely never puncture or disassemble them. But let's be honest, do we even know what those safety warnings are really for?
No.
And do we actually know what happens when you would ignore one or more of them?
I have a question. He didn't say not to do this, but like, what if you eated a battery and then it went into your stomach and then it interacted with your stomach acid? Surely that would be bad. But when I was a kid, not lithium batteries, but what I used to do is to test a battery to see if it worked, I would put it on my tongue and see if it's happening.
Because they might just look like boring little metal cylinders.
Oh.
But inside
Also, I think it's loud enough, right? Or is it too loud? You can be honest.
each of these boring metal cylinders is a
Yeah,
tightly rolled
boo.
sandwich of materials you really don't want to mess with.
Electrolytes? They got Gatorade up in this bit?
Because that tightly rolled sandwich consists of a positively charged lithium and
Looks like
aluminum
Crest.
electrode and a negatively charged graphite and copper electrode.
Okay.
And very simply put, when those two touch, you get... Yet inside the battery, the two are tightly rolled up like a sandwich, and the only thing that keeps them from touching is a super thin plastic layer in between.
It's so tiny. It's minuscule. It's the smallest thing I've ever seen in my life. How embarrassing.
As long as those two electrodes don't touch each other, everything is fine and the battery behaves just like you'd expect. But if, however, a battery gets damaged and the positive and negative electrodes are forced in such a way that they do connect, things can and will suddenly escalate very, very quickly.
My iPhone!
Today we're going to test one by one.
Is that why you can't bring it on a plane? I guess like the pressure, and then whenever the pressure gets too much, maybe it'll like impact the battery and then explosion.
What will go wrong exactly when you ignore each one of the 4 most important safety warnings? And to do so, I put together 4 different test rigs, all of which can be remotely controlled. Each one
Could you explode these batteries to like get into a bank? If you see me on a body cam, you know what happened.
is designed to trigger one specific failure mode at a time, while I can keep a safe distance. Let's just start with the simplest one, but it's the one people argue about the most.
Water?
There's a very common
What are you
belief
talking
that
about?
says if a lithium battery touches water, it'll explode.
Really?
But is that actually true? Well, time to find out, I guess.
Oh, I like the music. I love science. I'm gonna be a scientist one day.
3, 2,
I can't look!
1.
Oh. Chocolate dipped with nuts. He's just bathing. Quick time! Thank you for the 100 bits! Daily reminder that you are loved and appreciated. I'm glad you exist. Not you! I hope you had a good New Year's! The master hand. Video ends.
No, just kidding, of course. What really happens is quite the opposite, actually.
Okay.
No explosion, no flames, nothing.
Oh, boring.
Not even the tiniest little spark.
Put it in the microwave.
Most likely because the regular tap water is actually a pretty poor conductor.
Oh.
But watch what happens when we add some simple kitchen salt to it.
Yes! Here we go.
Things suddenly change.
This is how you
The
make
water
ice cream.
instantly becomes more conductive, which means there's now a path for current to flow externally around the battery.
Guys, this is gonna sound so dumb, like everything I say, but like, do you ever think about how salt used to be so expensive? It was like 9 more billion cows to get salt. And now, like, I pour it in my hand and then I go, and then I put the rest of it away because I don't want to have too much salt.
So in the salt water,
I just throw it away.
the battery will simply be leaking energy through the water from one side of the battery to the other. It's basically just a slow and uncontrolled discharge.
Ooh!
The big question is, how long will it take for the water to seep in and start to cause internal failure?
Okay.
While we wait for that
It's
to
eating
happen, let's just put these aside for now and get back to them when there are some significant changes. Meanwhile, we can continue with the next test. I think if there's one rule everyone agrees on, it's this.
Yeah!
Never
Creme
expose
brulee!
lithium batteries to fire. But what we want to know today is what happens when you do expose them to fire.
Oh, this is so fun.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
Dude, if you took this for your science fair project and you told your teacher, I'm going to put lithium batteries through tests that could explode them, would they tell you not to do that and maybe go make some moldy bread instead? Honestly, I was really bad about the science fair. I remember one year I didn't even want to do it, so I just made up something that was like, hey, does it take more water to take a shower or a bath? And I totally forgot about it, and day of, I sat in the cafeteria and I just made up a bunch of numbers.
We're going to heat a battery using a little gas burner. And to make sure the battery is heated evenly from all sides instead of creating a single hotspot, I slightly modified an old RC servo that'll slowly rotate the battery.
Don't vape. This is what it does to your lungs.
While it's being heated. Okay, so far so good. The plastic sleeve has pretty much melted away and the surface started to discolor a bit, which means the battery is heating up.
Ooh,
And as the
rotisserie!
temperature rises, the pressure inside the battery also starts to build up. Until this happens.
Bam!
And no, this is not the thermal runaway explosion we're looking for yet.
More!
It is actually the battery's built-in pressure relief safety mechanism doing what it's supposed to do. It's releasing the pressure from inside the battery to prevent any further damage.
This is cool.
However, in our case, that's probably not going to help much because there's still heat getting pumped in from the outside by the gas burner, of course.
If you breathe in this material, are you zooted out of your mind? Or are you gonna die? Hopefully he's wearing a mask.
And just like expected, it didn't take long before thermal runaway begins.
Yes.
The internal chemistry breaks down and starts to release heat and oxygen at the same time. So from this point on, the reaction no longer needs fire from the outside. The battery becomes the fire itself.
Baby, you're a firework.
Look, even after the battery hits the ground, it keeps ejecting burning material for several seconds. So, lithium batteries.
My ass after Taco Bell. But it's worth it, the quesarito's back.
Don't necessarily explode because of fire. Fire just triggers a reaction.
That happened to your vape battery? I don't know why I got hit when I said that. That probably happened to you. Are you okay?
That can then sustain itself. So the battery becomes the fire. Before we continue with test number 3, a quick shout out to my fellow engineers over at PCBWay. Whether you're working on an electronics project or need 3D printed or CNC machine parts, PCBWay makes it incredibly easy to turn your digital designs into real high quality parts. Simply go to PCBWay.com, pick the service you need for your project, upload your files if necessary, get an instant online quote, order, and your parts will be delivered in no time.
Awesome. What do you guys want to make? Let's make like a pirate ship. And I'll come and pick you all up. And we can go to the Florida Keys.
Right now, they're running their Christmas big sale until December 31st. With massive coupons, savings of up to 50%, free PCB color upgrades like purple, savings of up to 50%, free PCB color upgrades like purple, matte black and pink solder mask, and discounts on selected 3D printing materials. Take advantage of these huge deals or find out more via the link in the description. Now, back to the experiments.
We need the gay robot talking on top of this. The one that was going to mate with that man. What's their names again? I always forget. They had really good chemistry together. And I always watch them in chemistry. My vape died, but my reflexes saved my hands. Good job! No, his name's not Wally. The gay robot. Something in Moby. I'm just gonna Google it. It's a little risky Google. Gay robot science man. No. The concept of gay robot appears across various science fiction films. No, apparently this is a movie that came out. A robot discovers that he is gay after a wine cooler is spilled on him and fries his circuit board. What? I didn't know that was a movie. It's called Gay Robot. It came out in 2006. Robot, Moby, Brain Pop. That's what I was looking for. It's Tim and Moby. Yeah, they had a lot of chemistry.
This next test will be even more violent than the last one.
Yes!
The battery is pretty much fixed in place, and we're going to penetrate the steel casing of the battery with a hardened steel drill.
Is this what they're gonna do to me when I get my wisdom teeth removed? Am I gonna be the battery, but my mouth's gonna be wide open?
At a almost perfect right angle. The moment the drill breaks through the outer shell, everything changes. There will be no delay and no buildup. Just a high-pitched humming sound, a few little sparks, and then a lot of fire. Mark my word. Inside the battery, the layers that were never meant to touch are suddenly pierced and connected together by the conductive steel drill. Positive electrode meets negative electrode instantly, which causes a localized hotspot to form that burns its way deep inside the battery in the blink of an eye, where cooling is simply impossible. That's why this puncture failure looks so extreme. It's like forcing an internal short circuit right into the core of the battery.
That's like welding. You guys think he's a good welder? I know welders like to critique. I think he did a good job.
And just to put things in perspective, look at the drill. It's red hot and completely melted. And the thing is, that drill is made from high-speed steel. That's a material designed to survive extreme heat.
Wow!
Yet, it's melted. And not from the drilling, from the energy released inside the battery.
Did you think the drill knew he was a sacrifice? He was looking down, he's like, I hope I see my family after this.
This is why crushed batteries, or batteries damaged in accidents, are so dangerous. Not just because they look damaged, but because inside, the positive and negative electrodes could be one vibration away from touching each other and turning into this violent explosion. But what if I told you that the same thing can happen without any drills, fire, or water?
Can I like look at it?
Theoretically, all we need are some simple copper wires.
Ooh, I told you guys there was this guy that used to go up on my school and steal all the copper.
Test number 4, we're going to short circuit a fully charged cell by connecting the terminals directly using thick, low-resistant cables. And this DIY 3D printed servo-acted switch I designed for this test. So, no water, no drill, and no gas burner.
Just some
the copper wires. As soon as the switch closes, a
Sorry, the sound made me laugh.
current starts to flow that can, in case of some batteries, be as high as 300 amps.
Damn!
Now, you don't see much at first, but because of those high currents running through it, the battery starts to heat up fast. The temperature climbs all the way up to 63 degrees in pretty much no time. But wait,
69!
Then it stabilizes. That's weird. I at least expected the built-in safety vent to pop or something.
Uh-oh, too safe.
But no venting, no fire, no explosion.
Among Us?
Nothing. So, why is that? Well, because this is just one single lithium ion cell, and the amount of energy it contains is limited. So, the peak amperage might start at those 300 amps I mentioned earlier. The
Harpoony's like, clearly not Korean Galaxy phone.
moment the switch closes, but that number will rapidly decrease after even just a few tenths of a second. And on top of that, the build-up heat can easily escape through the metal casing. Especially here, in this case, where the ambient temperature is around 7 degrees.
So could you like chain link them together And then if you made like a battery vest, it could explode?
So a single cell like this doesn't have enough energy density to push itself over the edge and cross that point of no return.
Wait, that's how Teslas are powered? Do they really have lithium-ion batteries in a Tesla? But then what happens if you get in an accident that's really bad? Would it explode? How does that... Because what about the lines? It can explode? Oh my god! I had no idea!
But now, imagine this exact same short circuit, but inside a battery pack, where there are multiple cells
That's what I was
that
asking!
are tightly packed together. So each one will heat up the next. Suddenly, the heat has nowhere to go.
Fun fact, they don't put out EV car fires. Are they too hot? What? Why? They just can't? Is it like impossible to put out a fire from like an electric vehicle? Regular cars are filled with flammable fluid too. But is it easier or harder to explode an electric vehicle? They just keep burning. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, if I recall, that's why there is a prototype car in China that can eject the battery, can't put it out there. Oh, I was thinking you were gonna say it ejects the driver just in case. Like if it's about to explode, you get like spy kids out the driver's seat.
And once a single cell enters thermal runaway, it becomes the ignition source for all the others.
That's what I was asking.
That's why short circuits are so dangerous.
Oh, not the dog.
Not because one battery instantly explodes,
He's scared.
but because packs allow failures to cascade.
That's a crazy swing, first of all. Second of all, isn't this what happened with the hoverboards too? Like they had lithium batteries, so they just exploded while like little Jimmy was riding around the neighborhood?
And trust me, you really don't want to be anywhere near that when it happens.
Oh my god.
So conclude.
And it was like a colored flame too. Did you see that? Does that mean that it's like a toxic gas at the same time? It's pink! This is like some Dragon Ball
You
effects!
really don't want to be anywhere near that when it happens.
Look at that!
So conclusion. After ignoring every major safety warning, a pattern starts to emerge. Water, heat, puncture, short circuits.
Dude, so if you're the Avatar, you should just carry lithium batteries and start throwing them at people and then like putting the elements onto them.
All very different mistakes, but with the same underlying failure. An internal short circuit. Lithium batteries aren't dangerous because they're unpredictable. They're dangerous because
of
once their
humans.
internal structure fails, the reaction feeds itself and the battery doesn't need fire, it becomes the fire. Now, are there any battery experiments you'd like to see in a part 2 maybe?
Yeah! Put it in a blender! Maybe you could like make a lithium shooting gun and just shoot it at stuff. Or maybe, what else could you do with the battery? Maybe you could unroll it and then make toilet paper and then wipe your butt with lithium
That
ion.
we didn't test in this video. Let me know in the comments below.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. That was freaking awesome. And if you like watching science experiments altogether, please let me know in the comment section below. We could check out some more for sure. I also have a section of the Discord where you can put your own videos. If there's something that you want me to watch, I will definitely try to get to it. Anyways, thank you again. And use code Berry at checkout for 10% off your GamerStop order. Please come by the Twitch link to try to beat /BerryCrepe. Have a great evening. Goodbye!